it's a photographic exhibition. And I think the company has performed well. The feedback that I've got from shareholders so far is that they were pleasantly surprised. As one or two of them almost pleasantly shocked at how good the results were. So that's one element. But I think, the last time I spoke with investors after the half-year result, what many of them are saying is that they needed to get some comfort on when the market will stabilize. The price war and the ongoing price war, because this has been it's been a tough price war. You can't see the bruises, but it's we do feel it. The results would have been a lot better if we didn't have this price war, for sure. But they think that until such time as they can get some certainty around the regulatory environment, around the price war, then it's going to be difficult for them to, to continue to invest in the company.
Is it possible really to give them that assurance?
No, it's not. It's not in our gift to do that. All we can do is to do what we do, which is to make sure that we deliver the right products for customers, that we remain competitive. And, we're kind of pleased because people sometimes, they get a little carried away, and they think, oh, this guy has dropped the price and Safaricom is no longer competitive. But, you tell me, today, which is the most competitive? But we're beginning to do some pretty confident things as well. So let me just take you back to my favorite proposition at the moment, which is the Postpay 1000. The Postpay 1000, the reason why most people are not on Postpay is because they don't want to be tied month after month. And so what do? We untie them. We say, you don't have to be signed up for 24 months. You just do 1 month at a time. Because why would you shackle customers? And so this is where we're coming to. And customers, sometimes they get a bit impatient with me and they say, why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you doing that? Well, you just have to give me a little bit of time and we'll address some of those issues. Some other things we've done, data. People say, you've stolen my money. I loaded the bundle and suddenly it's all disappeared. And usually it's not me that's stolen the money, usually it's the phone that's stolen the money because it's downloaded something when you weren't looking. And so we said, you know what, let's make it easier for customers. So let's go to time-based billing. Because you know that you've been browsing for 2 minutes and therefore you pay 2 bob. Simple. It's not suitable for everybody, but you know what you're paying for. And so that was a radical kind of departure. And we found that actually a remarkable number of customers who have said, actually, that works for me. Others have said, no, you're trying to rip me off because we're not trying to rip anybody off. Why would we do that? Fiber cut is a really big problem. And in fact, a couple of us met with the president earlier this week to talk about this exact issue. Because, today what happened is that we had the primary fiber, which is the KDN fiber, because we actually don't own our own fiber, so it's other people's fiber that gets cut. The KDN fiber was cut at about 6 this morning, and then you always have a redundant fiber. And then about 11 o'clock, that fiber went down as well. And then, the whole thing then gets cut out. And so the discussion with government today is about accelerating the legislation which will criminalize this. And speaking with the president, he was shocked that at the moment you can cut the fiber and the penalty is 50,000 shillings. And what we need to do is to make this an economic crime. And if it's an economic crime, then it's life imprisonment. And you know that if you risk life imprisonment and somebody comes and says, if you cut that fiber over there, I'll give you, 200 bob or 500 bob or whatever. If you know the risk is life imprisonment, it's a different story. But actually, quite a lot of the cuts are accidental. Road works because people just don't care. But similarly, if you know, as a road building company, that the penalty is severe, you're going to stop doing it. Just think about the few things we do today, and the number of things we can do. And you can, whether we're dealing with it at an enterprise level, where we're servicing business customers, where customers want managed services, they want cloud computing, they want data storage. Just think about that for a minute and think who's the best place company for dealing with that in Kenya. And then just think about your own usage. Just think any information you want. Now you probably don't yet Google information immediately, but this is where you're heading. If you want to know whether the restaurant has got space, data usage. If you want to know what's on the cinema, data usage. And I was chatting to some young people the other day as part of the Safaricom the Spark Academy that we're doing with Strathmore. And some of these young developers, one of these young guys developed a really fantastic application for matatu drivers. Now, you know, you would have said to me a couple of years ago, what's the matatu driver and the conductor, not just the driver? You know, what are they going to use data for? But this guy had developed a fantastic application which can be used by the matatu owner and by the conductor. So you know where they've traveled, when they've traveled, how many customers, and they're getting this information delivered to them live. So, I mean, your friend who said that there's no growth in data, I'm not sure what was informing that opinion. Well, if the CCK implements it, then it's not going to be a surprise because that's what they said they will do. So, you know, we're planning for it. We've also said that we think that it's, you know, it has some unintended consequences. And one of those unintended consequences is that, you know, some of the smaller players will have a problem. And we've seen evidence of that so far, which is a bit unfortunate. But, you know, we're planning. Now, if your question is, do I think it's going to lead to further reduction in prices? I don't know. I think we have to see what the dynamics of the market is. But as you can see, you know, we are capable of moving at the front end of competition, and we're capable of doing that and continue to run a profitable and efficient business.